A couple weeks ago in Pokemon GO, I received a temporary ban, and obviously most of you guys had heard about this situation where I was not able to play when I was at the Seattle Mariners game in Pokemon GO. I couldn't see any Pokemon that were spawning, so I had no idea what the actual game space looked like from my perspective. Every time I did a raid, I had to restart the game to be able to encounter that raid. I couldn't load my friendships and many more things during this time, and it gave me some time to reflect, to learn about this, and this is going to be why I was actually banned in Pokemon GO. So let's get into the details. Welcome to the Trader Club. Here we go. Getting banned in Pokemon GO is definitely a scary place to be, and I do know that some people in the space have been a little bit paranoid ever since that I received the ban. However, rest assured that since it was me that received the ban and we were able to look into this situation and figure out what was going on, this will only help everybody going forward. So I just want to give a big thank you to everybody that has worked on everything. So what exactly happened to the situation? So on the way back, which was going to be June 9th, from New Jersey back to Oregon after Go Fest, which was on a Monday, I boarded a Delta airline flight. And Delta, if you do not know, has been offering free Wi-Fi to everybody on board. And while sometimes Pokemon GO does not work, for whatever reason, when I was playing this time, it was allowing me to do things in the game. So I was able to manage my bag inventory. I was able to cycle through some of my buddies. I was even able to pull up my friends list and send gifts and do the standard maintenance that would be incredible to do while on an airplane, while you don't have a ton of space or things to be able to do necessarily. So I really enjoyed this time. It was a great time. However, exactly 1 month later, I received a ban message saying that I had been doing some, let's call it, nefarious activity in the game. And that situation was a bit unfortunate because I had to reach out to Niantic and figure out what the situation was. And it came back that on the 9th, while traveling on an airplane, it sent my account in 1 second over 50,000 kilometers. So if you guys don't know, that is more than is humanly possible to travel on Earth. So there's no way that that could have happened. However, there must have been some type of GPS feedback glitch along with having Wi-Fi to be able to send that to the server in the game that created this situation. And so a lot of people have been seeing things in the game and been a little bit nervous that maybe they could get banned for a situation like this too. Well, number one, obviously as we increase travel, and if Delta is doing the free Wi-Fi, I would assume that eventually all of the airlines would have free Wi-Fi during travel because that's typically how business works. One thing happens and then the competitors have to step up to be able to match that, or else it becomes too big of a competitive advantage. So for this situation, I do know going forward that there's going to be more investigation on how to allow this travel to happen without anybody having a temporary ban. And so a lot of you guys are like, well, what do I do if I get a temporary ban? As of right now, the best situation to do is go through the help and support in the game. If you guys do not know how to do this together, let's go ahead and show you where you would find this information. So we are going to go into the Pokeball, we're going to go into the settings, and then in the top right corner, you see a thing that says help. By clicking on this help, it's going to enter you into a queue. I know some people are like, well, it's not the most efficient way. Well, I do know that they're improving this constantly, number one. And number two, stay persistent and consistent with this. And if you do need more support, you can always tag at Niantic Help on Twitter for further investigation. But please remember, when you are going about these situations, that even though you are frustrated, even though you may be feeling a certain type of way, that it's always important to pursue these things respectfully, especially if there is nothing that is nefarious that you have done, like use a GPS spoofing app, whatever that situation is that's going to cause this situation. Remember guys, we are playing a GPS-based game. And so whether or not you agree with that situation or not, you using devices that are going to cause GPS spoof, which means that I'm sitting in Dana Point, California right now, and I want to be in New York. Instead of me traveling to New York, I'm going to change my GPS location. And while that may seem easy and efficient, the game is not based like that, and they do not want that happening for multiple different reasons. And so if you choose to do that, remember that you are pursuing this at your own risk. So I would highly suggest you guys not do this, because this game is meant to be played this specific way, and if you can't play it this specific way or you don't choose to, there are many other Pokemon games that you can do that you don't actually have to get out and go with, hence the reason we call it Pokemon Go. However, it's not very common for you to get a random ban. This is a very new situation. The airline situation is going to be considered going forward so that this doesn't happen to people, number one. Number two, what does it look like when you get banned? Well, number one, when you open the game, it's going to give you a warning message. The warning message is going to say, hey, we detected some type of activity. Usually it's going to say a third-party spoofing app or something along the lines that's going to be modifying your GPS. So please, guys, if you have a GPS modding system on your phone and you're not using it for Pokemon Go, do not log into Pokemon Go on that phone. Just want to caution you guys on that, because it is not going to be the situation that you want. Even if you're not using it, do not put your Pokemon Go account on a phone that has a GPS modifying device, app, whatever that situation is for you. Do not log into Pokemon Go ever on a application that has been hacked or hijacked. That is not a good idea. So that message is going to pop up, and then it's going to count down all the way until you are going to be unbanned. So you're still able to get into Pokemon Go here. What you can do during this situation that I found out: number one, you can run incense, so you can do your daily adventure incense and regular incense. Number two, you're able to raid. However, after the raid is completed, the game is going to crash. You will not be able to encounter that Pokemon, so you're going to have to restart the game, go back into that raid, and then it will pull up the ability to be able to encounter that raid. While yes, you can have people join you, you cannot access anything of the friends list. You cannot send invites, you cannot see your friends, you cannot send gifts. That is not going to be the situation. However, if you do have a friend that is with you and that is able to get some people into the raid, you will be able to encounter these people. However, you will not get notifications popping up of best friends hitting, of lucky friends hitting, or anything along those lines, which makes the game quite challenging, especially because you're not going to see any spawns. So going to a cool event like Pokemon Go Fest where there's boosted spawns, a community like there's boosted spawns, or even like we did when we went into the MLB stadium for the Seattle Mariners game, there were tons of spawns there. I saw absolutely nothing. I was not able to see any of those spawns, so it was a really challenging situation. So know that you are at a very limited gameplay style of Pokemon Go when you do have this first temp ban. So the first temp ban is 7 days, the second ban is going to be 30 days, and I have never received that. I don't ever plan on receiving that because I'm not going to play outside the scope of Pokemon Go, and I'm not exactly sure what happens there. So if you guys have seen a 30-day ban or seen somebody with it, do they have the same experience that I've had at a 7-day ban? Or are you completely unable to log into the game? And then the third strike is going to be a permanent ban, which I have heard some people talk about that that's unjust, it's unfair. I actually kind of agree. You know, I could see that they go from 30-day to 3 months to 6 months to a year, and then every time after that you're getting a strike, you're going for a year, so that you're timed out basically for multiple months at a time. So if you continue to start or continue to choose this situation, that you cannot really continue to play, because as soon as that is uncovered, boom, you're going to be banned again. Do I think that a permanent ban is necessary? I would think that after a 3 to 6 month ban that most people would decide to choose differently. However, I can't make that decision for you guys. Only you guys can make that decision. And one of the final questions that I see quite often is, Pokemon Go going to do anything because you were wrongfully banned? And the answer to that is unfortunately no. And that was honestly probably one of the most content creator friendly events that was out there. So it was a really challenging time for me. I was able to manage it for the most part, and towards the end I just got really frustrated at the game and the system, because I'm like, this is not fair. I didn't do what I'm being told. I'm unfortunately not getting the right help that I need to. And I missed out on all the increased lucky chances for all my friends, the increased interaction time frame, so that was going to be reduced. I did not be able to capitalize on that. And finally, one of my favorite things is the increased lucky trades. I was not able to do this. So here's the situation: is please play this game in full transparency. Do not GPS modify your devices, and please make sure that if something like this happens, you stay adamant and on top of the system. Even if they're trying to tell you that there was a GPS modifying device that happened that you were able to go through, make sure that you tell them that that is not the situation, that you stay persistent and you do not give up until you get that situation handled. And if you guys have any concerns, drop them in the comments below. Maybe we'll make another video, but I'm confident that going forward that this GPS airplane situation will be resolved, and that also there's going to be an increase in transparency from the Niantic support, I guess we'll call it Scopely support, that is going to help you guys get around these situations that are unjust bans, because there's no reason for us to be getting banned for things that aren't actually happening in this game. And most importantly, now you guys have a bit more insight and can rest assured that if your Pokemon aren't spawning, let's say that you just got off the highway and you tried to catch a Pokemon or whatever, while you were a passenger, or even you just had the game open and you were driving, you didn't realize, you get there and you try to catch a Pokemon and that Pokemon runs, that does not mean you're banned, guys. A ban looks like, what it looked like for me for the first time ever was I was in the game, no spawns were showing up at all, and then I couldn't load my friends list, and I was like, this is really weird. I'm trying to send some gifts and I'm not seeing any spawns, so I restarted my game, and then when I restarted, that message popped up, and that's when I started to pursue it. And I was hoping to get it resolved before Seattle, but it was not able to be resolved. And the cool thing about that is we all got to learn something together, and we are all going to benefit from this. And that is what I really value about these situations, that even during situations that might be a little bit troublesome or a little bit trying, guess what, guys? We can all rise above, we can take onus of our actions, or we can hold others accountable for the actions that they've taken, and we can improve systems, the world, and especially governments together, because we gotta hold people accountable for their actions, and that's most important in this game. So thank you guys for tuning in. Love and appreciate you guys. I'm gonna see you out on the next video. Peace.